Hi. So keep a mercy mindset. Here's the room I'm in downstairs. No windows in here. It's completely dark. And on this bed, I had my girlfriend one time at the time, and I had said, "Will you marry me?" earlier in the night, as we were looking at like a blood moon and stuff going on in the stars, because that whole tetrad was going on in 2014. And I was like saying things I shouldn't say because I was trying to latch on because like I knew I was going down, sort of thing. Like I was like latching on to all I could at the time, and like a lot of it was ego based as well, suffering that Canaan spirit. But whether the woman I was with had the Legion in her or not, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is like, I did love her, and I said on this bed, like, I don't even know what I said, but I saw something in her eyes when she said something, and like, it looked like that Jezebel type spirit. And like, of course, she had on her makeup and stuff, and she, you know, she was very beautiful, and I thought she was less beautiful with the makeup on. That's just my opinion. Nothing against anyone who wears makeup or anything like that. But because she kind of looked like a Native American, and like, especially in the dark, I would see like a Native American when I was looking at her. Like, that's how her facial structure and her eyes were, and so it was just interesting, like, and I'm bringing it up because we're going to dive into the Sacred Woman of Pwalker, and they have a lot of similarities because it all relates back to Kevin J. O'Connor and how he is wrapped in the ego robe of the black and gold. He's wrapped in that and wears that and makes a passage 37 times a year that we'll go over in this new heaven that we have covered all ends with, basically. And he's wrapped in that because he represents the race wars, and because he won the ego side of it and had a broken arm represented by his paralysis in that film that he came out with recently, about the women robbers, sort of thing. Not oceans, but something like that. So, which was kind of a response to Me Too a little bit, the movement. But he's in that film, and he represents that Optimus Primal, which is a little bit tied to evolution, but it's in the sense of the beast side of it. Like, he won that, and he's the father of Pwalker. That's why he's important. Kevin J. O'Connor is played by Dom character in The Fast and the Furious, especially number one, when Pwalker wants in on the operation and they're eating at the diner, and Dom says, "We'll see how you do at Race Wars." So if you want to look at him as the rod upon the cheek, and then you have Bethlehem Ephrata, you can look at it that way. But usually the ones on top of Bethlehem Ephrata are like the Italian side, that are like the towers, Heath Ledger's mixed up in there as well with the betrayers. But, right now Italians are in power, really, since COVID. So it makes sense that they're on the betraying side as well, and they have that Fletcher Tower in Indianapolis. That's their stronghold, just as Fifth Third Bank building is stronghold of Lexington, and that's the French side. But it was taken by the English, and they're using the voodoo out of the spite of the French. Okay, so we've gone over this, but I hate to say that, but anyway, let's dive right in here. And so what was I trying to say? Just stay with me here. Oh yeah, okay. The Jezebel spirit, which started, it's been, we've had the remnants of it for a long time. You know, like the residue of the queen, or that queen spirit, the queen of Sheba, or Jezebel in the Bible, Jael in the Bible, and Judges with Barack in the Bible. That's all microcosm of Barack Obama and stuff. And now Barack Obama was supposed to be the arm of Pwalker. Okay, but see how he's revealed here. All right, so we'll show this, but and it's funny because my the woman that I was with during all this time, and I call her the sacred woman for me because she was involved with all that lead up to me getting the spear. Because I didn't just, it's not like I just cured her and the anaconda bow and that's all it was. No, that's not all it was. It was more like she was helping me as an earth character. When I got the spear, I was listening to music in the gas station at the time, the Speedway on Broadway. And that's where I saw the cop and said, give me that gun, and went for his gun. And then there was a little bit of a struggle, and someone in the store actually struggled with me too. And I went through the taser of the cop, and I was like, kill me, just like Arnold says in Predator. And he tased me in my side, and I got the spear. That was all after I had laid down and done all the homo stuff for the electric company. So it's like I did that for a reason, and then there was Spencer Stone and all those guys, and Alec Scarlatos, and Spencer actually died. Kurt Spencer died, who was a truther on YouTube on Grok's channel that would leave comments and stuff. He died right during that time that I was working for Babcon and all that, the electric company. So I don't think he was my 108 or 105, but there was, because I'm the it character, there was symbolism there. Kurt Spencer was his name. May he rest with Jesus. And that was a casualty, collateral damage type deal. But so what I'm saying is, she was I kind of listened to that earth spirit, and that's what helped me get through. It was helping me the whole time, and that was what I heard on the music. The music was telling me show your rage sort of thing when I was in the Speedway, and that helped me go through the taser so that I didn't feel it. And I don't know how to explain it. I just I got everything done that I needed to get done with that for God. And of course I did not know any of this at the time. I knew none of this. I just knew I was tracking that weed spirit, and I called it Batman stuff. That's all I knew about it. I didn't know the Canaan. I didn't know any of this. I just knew it was fighting my ego the whole time, and really giving me a doom mindset. But I did hear the earth woman sometimes, she would shine through, is what I'm trying to say. Now, the rage part was kind of special to me because of my swim practice and stuff, how I would train, so that you don't feel pain. That's all that was. I don't mean anything against anyone. Excuse me, and don't do anything crazy. I mean, I was all that I knew at that time was to be suicidal and stuff. And like, that's how I was feeling at the time. And like, you have to get into a certain mindset even to be at that place. But like, I went through a Sawzall blade where I cut my neck too. I cut my neck with a Sawzall blade, and that gave me a different way of speaking even for how I was going to be a watchman and stuff. You know, like when it healed up. And that's even in the Bible, like there is no cure for your wound. Your wound is so deep, sort of thing, when it talks about the Assyrian and all that. So that woman was helping the earth type woman, which is crazy because she actually looked like a Native American. This is my connection to it. And of course, I'm on my own now. Like I don't, I don't have anything against anyone. Like I just live my life and like look at signs and symbolism. So like, I don't plan to do anything or like get anything else out that I need to get out. I'm saying it all in this video basically. And like, that doesn't mean don't watch my other videos. I'm just saying like, I'm just being very open. I'm just saying what's on my mind. So don't use this against me. Keep a mercy mindset. I'm over all this stuff is what I'm saying. Like I'm over it all, But all right, so we'll watch this.
Told me terrible things.
What things?
That you younglings.
I won't do the way I my mother. I am becoming more powerful than any Jedi has ever dreamed of, and I'm doing it for you. To you. I have brought peace to the Republic. I am more powerful than the Chancellor. I could him.
So right there, now you can look at the title of this, but the Chancellor, the Chancellor, is the character, because it was all a chance to go to California. It was all a chance that I hit my brother. Like, it was all like a chance because all that is tied in with the Rorsulf and Troy, the Kristen Stewart, which I think we need to give some credence or some, plausibility or whatever to the actual name of my channel, because they're in that Kristen Stewart, which is tied to this. It's that woman Jezebel spirit of the rape and all that tied from the garden. But she has tied to her that the character was supposed to be a betrayer type and like just be the foil to get things started. Okay, so that's why he says I could F the Chancellor, because he got kind of he got a little bit crazy. Like now Anakin represents Pwalker the cherub in Ezekiel 28, and the tear symbolism of the TYRE, okay, which is tied to tear, through the falls. But he's saying he could F the Chancellor because there's reason to believe that Pwalker was effing Tyrese, and that they were connected that way through the sacrifices, because you have to remember Paul made it with 47 days fasting, either the food or just nonstop action, like being in constant motion in the car and stuff. So that means he had to do the most sacrifices to be the most like Christ. Okay? Those were his like degrees in that way. So that requires the stuff that the Edom spirit does, the sport. Okay? It doesn't just mean trophies, it means Like you have to take it sort of thing in that way. Now, is this on the high school level and all that? I don't know. That would be pretty crazy if it were. I didn't have any experience like that in high school, but probably some do, you know. And that's getting pretty deep and pretty doom mindset, but do I doubt it? No, I think it could have gone on. So, but anyway, like, and I say high school for like sports because most people are, that's when they're intrigued by sports or do sports or whatever. And then college also, but then it kind of ends, So he's saying that he could pimp out the chancellor. Okay, he's saying like he could make sure that everything gets done for the chancellor. Like, this is kind of twisted, okay? Like Paul was getting a little twisted at this time as he was on his way down, okay? So this is just how this channel is showing it. So, all right, we'll keep going here.
And together, you and I can rule the galaxy. Make things the way we want them to be.
Obi-Wan was right.
I don't want to hear any more about Obi-Wan. The Jedi me. Don't you me.
I don't you anymore.
Because of Obi-Wan.
Because of what you planned to.
Okay, so see, that's Rebecca McBrain saying like, that's not cool. Like you're pimping out Tyrese and you plan to pimp out the character, your arm, and like, that's why I'm not really having a sacred woman relationship with you anymore. So we're not going to have the rapture sort of thing. So you see how he was Obama's 105. It was not his time to go. I know he represents that 2300, but that could have been postponed or like it could have gone down differently. So,
Stop! Stop now! Come back!
Liar!
No!
You're with him! You brought him here to me!
No!
okay, we'll watch that again. Now, because guess what? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, and notice how he's on his downward spiral, calling her a liar and all that. That's on his downward spiral because the ego Canaan spirit messing with him. He was messed with all that stuff. So then he persecutes Padme, just as it says in Revelation 12, the dragon and all that. The dragon is red, remember, and red represents like even giving it in the butt sort of thing. I hate to be so blunt, but I'm sorry I have to so that people understand this stuff. So this is O.B. Wank. Okay, that represents the Revelation 17 woman, which is all tied in with masturbation, okay? To get past the Revelation 17 woman and all that. That's all tied in with her all right. Basically because it says in Micah 5 that therefore will he give them up until she brings forth her baby. That means be the wank, masturbation sort of thing. In my mind, that's what it means. You may think it means something differently, but that's kind of what it means to me because these are people that don't have jobs or aren't under the influence like directly of Obama and Trump. So then they have to wank sort of thing. Okay. This is all like a deal that we've gone over that kind of represented that dominion a little bit, the leopard fowl with the big arms, that was like a lifter. like a maxer, that was all like a big football player or something. That was the creature that we went over that suffered all this stuff, and that represented all the people that have this type bow. Okay, a bow means like you went through a pit or something. That's like your trophy at the end. So like because you can string it, that's why like Odysseus. So Obi Wank, E Nob I, okay, E Nob I, which is why I went over what I just went over looking at the bed, okay, because knob is like beer or like high, okay, and I was high that night that I said some things I shouldn't have to her and saw that spirit on her, okay, not like there's a spirit on you, not like that. It's just like I see things, like my eyes have been opened to see things differently, and it looked like just like a Jezebel type thing, like things I would see in California, like just everything becomes like pointed, like how villains in DC Comics and Marvel Comics have like pointed shoulder pads and stuff. It's kind of like that, okay? That's just how it is. So Enabai is that, okay? Which is, this is no B, okay? Which is like the B represents the betrayer and no represents like a basement or like underneath. So even that represents where I'm at right now. So keep faith, keep faith. Don't do anything crazy. Keep a mercy mindset. But that's why he says that. And so I want you to feel the intensity of this, because this was Pwalker, and of course he gets burned, and that's just how Pwalker was. And then he's the cherub of Tyr of Ezekiel 28.
No! You're with him! You brought him here to me!
No!
Hey, Dad.
But look at Obi-Wan, look at Obi-Wan.
What you plan to Stop! Stop now! Come back!
Liar!
No!
You're with him! You brought him here to me!
No!
All right, so that's what that is. And this, okay, so what I'm saying is this is Obama, okay? Because Obama is Barack. He even has the name of the Bible where all this happened. All this was set up. This was all set up with JL, the women in the tent. Well, you're in a tent when you're like a kid, and like that's tied to man of the house and jungle to jungle, which is all tied in with this wank. So it's Barack symbolism. So this means Barack, okay? That, I'm just breaking it down that way. And all that Revelation 17 woman's side, which for him was like Hillary Clinton. Okay, so now of course he hated her and all that, but it says that they'll hate the woman in Revelation 17. Or yeah, it actually says that in there. God has laid it all out for us. All right. So, okay, now let's take a look at this here. All right. So this comes off, okay, and comes back on. Let me get it back on. Okay, this here, you can see it like that. All right. And then let me get to this. Of course, keep a mercy mindset. All right. And then this here. Okay. This 8. You see the 8 there with the bubbles on it? The 8. Just that, not this down here and not this up here. Just the 8 with the bubbles. But shaped like that, like a bottle sort of thing. Okay, all that I just showed you is right here. Okay, Now, this covering is Solomon's Ark, okay? And this is an exact portrayal. I don't know about all the trees and everything, but, well, yeah, I kind of do. This is an exact portrayal. So all this, I'll put my pen over all this. From here to here, including this river, and how this side has trees and this side has like a rooftop of like a old person's house, or like old restaurant style brick home with like the chimneys, okay? All that, the river going across and the firmament style, this is all YG Drassel, okay? Now you have the new heaven on bottom and new heaven on top. So, and then this right here is New Jerusalem, and it's shaped just like that, with the one side going higher, okay? This is Solomon's Ark, this shave protector. Then this right here is David's Zion, end of Psalm 87. All David's springs like heel, okay? Now, this is the 104 deal, is the wall for that. This is the wall. Okay, you have 4 actors, and they are the angel gates. You have 3 twisters, which is raptured people 2, 1 killed, wasn't their time, 105 deal cherub. And that's seraph and thrones is these two, the rapture people 2, seraphim and thrones. Then you've got 2 Judea clones, dominion. You've got 1 singer, like on the radio, principalities. You've got 1 politician, powers. Then you've got Mr. Tackpans plus Sweden dividing the 12th, okay? And that's virtues. Now, they don't let anyone go from David's Zion to Jerusalem 6, new heaven, set down, except, now I'm just talking about the YG Drassel New Jerusalem, which is, it's called the new heaven, but I'm calling it the Jerusalem 6. Okay, except for Isaiah 66, 1/37th of the refurbishing times per year. That's refurbishing of the Bible, 1/37th of that. Of the refurbishing of the Bible times per year. So take what it says in Isaiah 66 and add the 1/37th to it of the refurbishing of the Bible. Okay. All right. And Mr. Tackpans in Sweden do that as they're like the 12th barrier of this 8 here. Okay. All right, so, and they're the wall, but this is massive. This whole thing is massive. This is all David Springs. So, 1 actor of these angels here, the angel gate, is Kevin J. O'Connor, wrapped in ego blanket, passage 37 times a year on River of Life, through the tree, firmament, temple, sharks, and minnows game, which is related to the 12th gate of the temple of this Jerusalem 6, and cold drink with Solomon. So Kevin J. O'Connor goes from here, follow my pen, through the tree, through the firmament, into the 12th gate, into right here. Okay, that's what he does. Cold drink with Solomon on the ark. All right, so now from here to the southeast, from David's Zion, you get to the dew of heaven, Edom bands, that's archangels. I see them all as archangels. It's the dew of heaven, it's, they're not part of heaven. It's the dew of heaven. It's Edom bands broken. Okay? All right. All right, so the shave protector flips and protects New Jerusalem too. It hooks right onto the 12th wall, 4th gate, which is Zebulun and Judas. Judas is one of Judea clones, and he's the gate dominion. All right. So you have Zebulun, which I see as the going out, which is as I always saw Zebulun as kind of like Heath Ledger a little bit. But I keep a mercy mindset with all this. I'm not saying anything has to be. I'm just saying that's how I always saw it. Was that the Zebulun represented the Heath Ledger sort of? So now New Jerusalem, 12 apostles, 12 tribes is 103 deal. So these all together, the New Jerusalem makes the 103 deal. Just its whole presence is the 103 deal. Then the 104 deal is the David's Zion, is the 104 deal. Now I know we've gone over a ton of different Zions, the new eunuch Zion, the Zion of like the, I don't even know, like the training Zion, I guess to say, like it was like a bull on a hill sort of thing, like taking the dart and all that, so in the mythology. But this is David's Springs. Okay. I think that's we went over it all. All right, 31 minutes. Okay, have a good night and thank you.